What's going on, everyone? Spencer here. In this video, I'm going to break down this insanely quick lateral move from Marner. We'll look at exactly what it is he's doing, and of course, how we can replicate it ourselves with some on and off ice drills. So make sure to stick around to the end for all that. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this is an advanced mechanic, but with practice, anyone can learn it. If I can learn it, you can learn it too. It's that simple. Now, the first thing that everyone's going to say is he shifts his weight. And of course, he does. He starts with all his weight on his right foot and shifts all his weight to his left foot. Now, although that is true, that is not what gives him this insanely quick lateral movement. That comes from three things. The first is an ankle collapse. So you can see when he shifts his weight to his left foot, his ankle starts out in a neutral position with very little Y angle. And then he immediately collapses it in, leading to this aggressive Y angle we see at the end. The second is heel pressure. Now, it's hard to see from this angle, but you can kind of tell that his toe is slightly up and his heel is dug more into the ice. His heel is also the last part of the blade touching the ice, so we know that he is cutting with his heel. The third, and this is what we're going to primarily focus on in this video, is the hip drop. So if we look at right before he shifts his weight, his hips are completely level. And then as soon as he establishes weight on that left foot, his right hip completely drops. So his hips are level and then drops. Level, drops. You also notice at the same time that his hip drops, he internally rotates that right hip. You can see that from his legs slightly turning in as the hip drops. So overall, that puts him in a position like this, where his hips drop, his knees are also tilted as a result, his shoulders remain level, and his chest is facing away. And that gives him this bow-like look. We also see the same move from Mcdavid, where his hip drops and he ends up in the same position as Marner. We also see the same move from Dahlin, and more recently from Bedard in his OT winner versus Slovakia. Now, what's happening in all these examples is as their ankle collapses and hip drops, their Y angle, both at the ankle and lower leg level, decrease. And at the same time, their mass displacement increases. Mass displacement being how far their center of mass is away from their point of ground contact. That, combined with heel pressure, takes them on a tighter and sharper arc with more speed coming out, because they're using gravity and momentum to propel themselves laterally versus having to push. If that doesn't make sense, don't worry. I'm gonna have a full video going in depth on mass displacement and how to get Mcdavid level lean, so make sure to subscribe for that. Now it's time to replicate this move. So we're first gonna focus on the overall body positioning and hip drop. For that, we're gonna start with a variation of the Goda drop-in. To start, find somewhere to balance on, like a wall or a barbell. Next, you're going to stand on one leg and internally rotate the other by turning your foot to point in. You're then going to soften your knee just a bit and drop your hip, all while rotating your chest the other way. So overall, you should be in a position like this. See any similarities? Yep, that's the exact same position we saw with Marner. Now, in order for your hip to drop, you need to relax it. You want to feel like your hip is being pulled to the ground and your leg is loose and dangling. You may also feel a nice stretch in your opposite glute, which is perfect. If you got that, great. Now try to sit in that position and get your hip lower and lower by relaxing it and keep feeling like it's being pulled down lower and lower. And don't forget to always do both sides. Once you've taken a mental note of that feeling, try getting in and out of it. So stand straight, lift your leg up, and then drop. Dropping your hip, softening your knee, and rotating your chest all at the same time. You can also sit in your heel to simulate heel pressure. Next, we're going to add a little fall to simulate mass displacement and using momentum to move us laterally. So we're going to get in that same position and then slowly teeter our way to the side. Use your discretion here and be safe. It's a little controlled fall to not go crazy. For extra feel, you can do skater bounds, but with the intention of dropping your hip and rotating your chest every time you land. Again, you could sit into your heel to feel the heel pressure. If you want to take it even a step further, you can add a stutter and some stick handling. Lastly, we'll do one ankle collapse drill to get the feel for that. For this, you'll stand with your feet straight and your ankles neutral. You're then going to roll and collapse your ankle in, just like this. Again, make sure to do both sides. Now, none of these drills are mandatory. You can do some of them, you can do all of them, you can do none of them. They're only meant for you to get the feel, so you can then replicate that feel on the ice. So now that we have that feel, let's take it to the ice. First, we're going to prime our ankles with a moving ankle collapse auxiliary drill. This drill is essentially the exact same we did off the ice. Simply get a little bit of a moving start, glide with both feet neutral, and roll and collapse your ankle in. what you'll notice is that your foot automatically makes a C-cut without you having to do anything. At this point, you're now ready to give it a go. I recommend starting with a wide stutter or a wide corkscrew to hip drop, because in a wide position, you have automatic low Y angle and automatic mass displacement. Just imagine if you unweighted one foot, your center of mass would be here and your point of ground contact here, and boom, mass displacement without doing anything. Now, although you mostly see this move on the backhand side, make sure to always practice both. The more options you have, the better player you can be. On the forehand side, it will be the exact same thing as the backhand. The only difference is that you likely won't turn your chest. Once you're comfortable with that, you can add a crossunder out for extra lateral movement, like we saw from Marner and Mcdavid, or an outside edge roll like Dahlin and I did, or even a shuffle like we see from Bedard. You can also play with how you enter it. You can enter with a stutter, a corkscrew, cross under one way and cut back the other way. Really, the possibilities are endless. And so that's it. You just learned what we call Train 2.0, the soft hip. Finally, some last tips and tricks. As always, do not push. The lateral movement should come solely from the ankle collapse, hip drop, heel pressure, and lateral fall. That's it. 2 is relax. In order for your hip to drop and ankle collapse, you need to relax those muscles. And that's what makes this move so challenging at speed. And lastly, if you're starting with a cross under one way and cutting back the other way, you want to step out wide. That's going to give you that instant Y angle and mass displacement like we talked about earlier. The last variation you could try is instead of lifting your foot, you can drag your inside edge. And then, oh wait, that's just a soft drag. Yes, this is the exact same movement pattern as the soft drag. The only difference is that you're not dragging your inside edge toe. In fact, the hip drop you just learned is not only used in the soft hip and soft drag, but in movements like the 10 and 2, the cross under, the forward stride, even on your shots. So this one skill will give you feels that you can then translate to all those other mechanics. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Our Train 2.0 Plus membership is for players that want to get better and want to do so with a science-based approach. And they want to do it in a way that is rooted in the technological advancements found in video feedback, but also sticks and skates and a lot of different sports science stuff that is coming out recently. So if you want to get access to all of that, how to improve your mechanics, how to improve how they translate to a game, I invite you to join the Train 2.0 Plus membership. So click the link and access the free training.